Hey everybody, Kristen here. As you know, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. And today I'm going to share with you how to make the most amazing Bolognese sauce using our Instant Pot. This recipe is perfect for a holiday meal. It's perfect for Sunday supper. I'm going to share with you how to make it extra luxurious or to scale it back so it's a little bit more affordable. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is hit saute on our Instant Pot. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to let that heat a little bit there, and then I have 6 ounces of cubed pancetta here. Pancetta is a little bit more expensive. It can be harder to find. If you want to omit this, that's absolutely fine. You can simply omit it. This will still be incredibly delicious, or you could use some thick chopped bacon in its place. I am going to go ahead and add that pancetta to my inner pot, and we're going to let that brown and crisp up and render out its fat. And to that fat, it's just going to add this layer of flavor to our sauce that's incredible. While the pancetta is browning, I'm going to take that time to dice up some carrots and celery, onions, and garlic. I have 1 small yellow onion, 1 large peeled carrot, 1 stalk of celery, and 3 cloves of peeled garlic here in a mini food processor. I'm going to process this so it's nice and fine so that it doesn't have big chunks through our sauce, but instead just gives it incredible rich flavor. I'm going to set that aside and add that here in a little bit. We want to saute our pancetta up until it's nice and golden. Keep in mind that pancetta won't get as dark as bacon, and that's okay. We're just looking to brown it up slightly so that it'll begin to render its fat and flavor this sauce. And it's actually looking pretty good. So I'm going to remove the pancetta with a slotted spoon and place it on a paper towel. We're going to set that aside, and we're going to add that to our sauce before it pressure cooks. Okay, to our inner pot here, we are going to add in 1 pound of lean ground beef here and a ½ pound of lean ground Italian sausage. We're gonna let our meat saute here, breaking it up as it cooks. And today I'm using my homemade Italian sausage. I love making it myself because it's such a money saver, and then I know what's going in it. And I will link to that recipe below. It's super, super easy to do. You just combine some spices with ground meat, let it sit for 12 hours, and there you go, homemade sausage. All right, once your meat is about halfway browned there, you wanna add in your veggie mixture. To this, I'm also adding in 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. Wanna add some of our spices now so that they can toast and develop their flavor, and a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. If you're very sensitive to spice, you can omit that, but it's just a little bit, and it's just gonna add just enough heat on the back of your palate there. Continue to saute that until your meat is nice and cooked through. As you can see here, I don't have a lot of rendered grease in the inner pot, and that's one of the reasons I recommend using lean ground beef and lean sausage for this recipe, because we don't want to drain off any of the flavor that we've worked to develop. If you've used a fattier cut of beef or sausage, feel free to drain off some of the grease. The meat is looking nice and browned, and so you know the drill. Anytime we use the saute function on our Instant Pot, we must deglaze the inner pot. For this, we are going to add in 1 cup of dry white wine. I'm using a Pinot Grigio today, a Chardonnay, not a buttery Chardonnay, but a dry Chardonnay would work well, a Sauvignon Blanc would work. And if you don't cook with alcohol, don't fret. You can use an additional cup of chicken stock right now. Okay, so we're gonna let this just simmer for just a few minutes just so that that alcohol can reduce. And again, you want to scrape up all those brown bits to prevent a burn notice from happening. We're going to cancel to turn off the saute function, and then this is going to come together super quickly. I'm adding in 1 cup of low sodium chicken stock there. I'm adding in a ½ tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. That's just going to make it taste really rich and deep, deepen all the flavors. I'm adding in half a teaspoon of kosher salt. We may need a little bit more, but we're gonna taste it after it pressure cooks. The pancetta, the sausage, it all has quite a bit of sodium, so you wanna control that. So just start with a half a teaspoon, add more after it pressure cooks as needed. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 dry bay leaf, and I'm also going to add in a little bit of grated nutmeg here. We're adding some cream after this pressure cooks, and adding a little bit of nutmeg just adds a warmth and pairs really well with the cream. Stir that together to combine. Add in our browned pancetta or bacon if you used that. Give that a stir again. Oh my goodness, it is smelling so good in here. And then we're going to top this with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I typically, when I'm making a bolognese on the stove, I would add the tomato paste with the meat and let it brown. But because the Instant Pot can be a little bit prone to burn notices when using tomato products, I wanted to prevent that for you guys. So we're just going to add it right on the top there. I'm gonna add in 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. And we're not gonna stir that. We're just gonna let that kind of sit on top there. Pop our lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure your venting knob is sealed or your lid is locked. And then to set the cooking time, we're gonna cook this for 15 minutes on high pressure. To set the cooking time, hit pressure cook or manual, and use the plus or minus buttons to adjust until it reads 15. Once the cooking time has elapsed, let pressure release for at least 15 minutes. Then you can do a quick release of any remaining pressure if desired, or just let the Instant Pot lid unlock on its own, which is what I've done here today. Then you want to open up your Instant Pot, and it smells absolutely incredible in here. Oh my goodness. As I'm giving this a stir, I'm going to remove the bay leaf as you find it. And then we're going to finish this sauce with a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, optional, but encouraged. It's just going to just really take this bolognese over the top. I'm also going to add in about a 1/4 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Give that a stir. I'm also gonna add in just some basil ribbons there, some fresh basil leaves that have been chopped into ribbon or sliced into ribbons. That's optional. That was about 5 basil leaves there. Again, just gonna add a little bit of flavor. And then you're gonna serve this over noodles. You can use any noodles you like. Today I have bucatini, and then you can top with some additional Parmesan cheese if you desire and some basil. And I'm telling you, this meal is out of the world good. I'm gonna go in and give this sauce a taste. Remember, we said we may need to add a pinch more salt. It's just gonna depend on the level of sodium in your broth, in your sausage, and pancetta. So good. It's absolutely perfect. Doesn't need any addition of salt. That little bit of Parmesan finished it up perfectly. I'm telling you, this is a winner. It's perfect for a holiday meal. It's perfect for entertaining. It's perfect recipe to impress somebody with. And if you're looking for another recipe that always impresses, be sure to catch my next recipe where I share with you how to make Instant Pot short ribs. Until next time, happy cooking.